Okay, yeah, so welcome everyone. Thanks for making time to join the October Town Hall. I know Nick and John were saying things are going pretty quickly, so I know it does feel quickly since the last one, but it's always great just to have the catch up and everything. So yeah, welcome to this month's Town Hall. We've got some interesting stuff to go through today and definitely some nice stuff to show you. So we'll definitely just be in the beginning just focusing on some of the roadmap items released. So we'll just talk a bit about user roles. I'll jump into the system. We'll just go have a quick squiz of user roles and also just the managing and deleting of users, if that's something you haven't done already. I think probably Website Success is probably already playing around with that quite a bit. We'll also just talk about what's next on the roadmap. So next kind of upcoming key items. And then Luke's just going to take us through some marketplace updates. So just talking about the new Bootstrap 5 SoftUI theme and just some of the templates and the pro layouts and stuff that's coming. And then we'll also just be expanding a little bit, and Luke's going to just talk a bit about the Loopple partnership that's in the works, just to expand, to look at how we can pack out the kind of Bootstrap 5 offering and offer some different templates and look at like builders and whatnot. So yeah, and then after that, we'll just open up to general open floor, and we can, talk about any kind of ideas or things that's happening in your market and your business at the moment. Okay. So yeah, so just talking about user roles. So let me just jump out of here quickly. There we go. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Let's just go back here. Come on. Sorry. What is going on? Sorry.
Just escape out of full screen, maybe.
Yeah, it's when I do that, it's still okay. There we go. So we're just going to talk a bit about, I know it's just some of the stuff that has been relaunched quickly. So we're just going to jump in. We'll just walk through it quickly. We'll spend a little bit more time showing you some of the ways you can alter the different access for users. So as we showed briefly in the previous town hall, we've now gone and opened up the user roles to you. So what you'll see is you've still got the common saved ones, administrator, client, and restricted. But from there, you can actually go and add any new kind of user roles. So really, really useful. Like I know Luke's spoken about it before. If you're offering some, tying into our really nice entry-level packages, if you're doing any sort of entry-level landing pages, very basic offerings, the roles are definitely going to open you to that. So it's really easy. You can go work off the set permissions, and then you can go and reduce from there. And it's really easy. You can go and search for anything around forms and adjust as you need. And also I think the big thing to keep in mind is with the permissions, you can stack them on top of each other. So you can go create certain roles, and then you can add those roles on top of each other, which makes it quite easy to use and just ensure that people have got the right access. So have you guys got any feedback around the user roles or kind of your experience around it? Has there been any questions or anything that's a bit confusing at times?
Having desperately needed it, I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
That's fine. As long as
I will do.
As long as it's there when you need it, that's the main thing,
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest. The thing that we needed more urgently was the ability to add and remove people. But which is great that we've got that. That we've got that exactly. But yes, this will be really useful when we get a chance to breathe.
100%. So yeah, so it's really nice. So keep in mind always what you go to the user roles area, and that's where you'll see all your Saver used roles for your agency. And then once you go to users, then you can go and apply those user roles to them. So if I go to it here, what you'll also start seeing now, so you'll see here, so it'll give you the details like that. You'll see the sites the user is added to, and then you'll see able to see the roles it has. And then what you can go and do from there is you can go and add, like I said, you can stack the roles on top of you. In this case, it wouldn't make sense to have stacked anything on top of administrator, but you could go and add CMS forms and pages and then add on other CMS activity from there. Okay, so really nice and easy. You stack them on top of each other from there as well. Okay.
Yeah. So with this, can our clients get access to their team? Is that something we've got available at this stage, or?
When you say access to their team, do you mean?
Yeah. So if we've got a client and they've got a new team member, can they go in and say give their team member kind of create access but not edit and delete access, for example?
I think my understanding would be you would still need to create the access for them. I think,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just need
because you would still need to invite the person to the main, I think, to the client first, and then they should be able to perhaps add Luke.
Well, if you've got somebody in there already who's got the right user role, then in theory they should be able to invite and manage. So you just need to check whether you're giving away too much control, I guess. But yeah, in theory, if we haven't got, we've done it very granular, so I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll give it a play and see what
what
access we can give, so we can maybe create a client administration role that they can then come in and amend their team rather than having to come back to us. It's not many clients that have got that, but there's a few larger ones that might. You know, if they lose a marketeer under bad circumstances, they often want to kind of come in and change things quickly.
Yeah, I'll test that after the session. I'll let you know, Nick. I'll go and just test that out.
Just quickly, Colin, out of curiosity, if you go to user roles, just all we really need to check is that you can have one if you just go new, I guess. That on the left hand side in portal, you just need invite user, that agency invite. There you go. So yeah, in theory, you should be able to just set one up where an existing user can invite other users and manage sites. So you should be able to do everything you want to do.
Okay, we'll have a play and see if we can build that out. There's certainly one company. If they've got a couple of sites with us, that'd be ideal for them because they've got staff on different sites, so who need access to different elements on different sites. So that would be really useful.
Just on that one quickly, while you're here then, Colin, if you just type invite in again in the filter, so as long as you set everything up using the client feature, so if you put multiple sites in a client, then that's how you do that, because you just invite at client level, and you wouldn't need to do it at site level.
Yeah, fantastic.
Cool.
Lovely, that'd be grand.
Perfect. Now if we want to go to users, so we're just going to go to users where you can view all your users in your agency. What you can do from there now is you can go and select a user. So if it's a specific user, and then from there, once you go to the site, where am I looking now? Surely, let me make sure I'm in the right user quickly. There we go. So once you go through to the correct, so once you go through to a user, you'll see now all the list of sites. And from there, you can go and obviously view and edit the site, but you can also revoke the specific access per site as well. So that's obviously what you guys wanted to look to do and be able to remove and add. Obviously, if you want to go and delete a contact user, you could still delete the whole user itself as well. Okay, so really nice. Gives you that access, as you said. If someone, if a client urgently needs to revoke that access if something does happen. So very, very nice. And obviously, thanks to Matt to working on that and getting this all pushed through. It's really useful to have that. Okay.
Did we get to the stage where you could delete clients as well? I think I did ask Matt on Discord about that, and I can't remember whether he came back to me and said yes, it's possible, but I've got to work on it, or whether it's
already there.
Whether it's already there, I just need to put a button in or something.
Yeah, I can't remember
I think
seeing.
So.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You just try going. You're logged in. Oh, you're logged in as an agency user. Yeah, it'll let you do it. Oh no, go on. Actually, try that. We don't have a client. There you go. Just try and go into one.
Yeah,
I don't think you can at the moment.
Yeah,
it's just because we got, just for housekeeping, we've got a load of clients on there who are no longer clients. So just housekeeping-wise, it just makes sense just to to get rid of them off the list.
And then I'll just send a list over and we'll do this for you.
I mean, I would do that, but absolutely, I'll do that, and when I get a chance, but it would be easier if I was able to do it myself.
Of
course.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to send through, there's any urgent ones, you just send through and we'll sort that out, John. But I'll chat to Matt as well. Okay.
Nice.
But yeah, so definitely test it out. If you notice anything around the user role access or anything odd you're not sure of, just reach out to us in your Discord channel or just through the chat bot as well, and we can always answer any questions. Okay. So yeah, so now we're going to just talk a bit about on the roadmap side. I think this is the following things that are coming up. So you would have seen recently, we would have also just finished the completion of copying of products. So that's something nice for when you're building out your product set. And I know John's happy about that. You can copy out, change some different information, which is going to simplify just getting all the different products in. The next things we're focusing on the order custom fields. Just to add the order fields into, obviously for Siteglide, the values to be edited, and that's just going to add some nice kind of use cases for different fields within the order as well, purchased or etc. Okay. Studio is also a big focus for us, so this is definitely an important one. Just to look how we can improve the user experience. Different selection, kind of fixing the deleting selections, how to improve different content, also like for web apps and how to handle web apps visually in Studio. So that's a really nice big one. I think it's going to add a lot of value just to yourselves, and I think also really great for end clients that are doing a lot of content management on that side, which is really good. And then the next thing as well is we're also just going to be working on, especially for resellers, is just the packing out some additional functionality there. So breakdown of charges, access to old invoices, historical data, just to make sure you have a good view of that as well. So if there's anything around that you want to share with us, definitely reach out. If there's anything you think could be valuable, of course, we'll take it on board and just see if it is something we can implement on this next run as well. Okay. Perfect. Luke, do you want to take over and just show some of the marketplace?
Sure. Just before we do, any questions on the roadmap update items or anything missing?
Oh, there's lots missing, obviously.
I shouldn't have said that. I should have said, "Is it all perfect?" Yeah, are we good to go?
No, there's lots missing. No. Have we got anything, John? That
I think basically, yeah, the order custom fields is the big one for us, and once that's in place, I think then we can get everything.
Then we can add to your list.
We can add to your list again. But yeah, we can get a couple of e-commerce clients happier in terms of stuff that they're still asking about from that was on BC that is now obviously not. And yeah, and then there's a whole raft of other things I'm sure I've listed somewhere to do with e-commerce.
Yeah,
we can look at as well. But yeah, obviously that's the big.
Yeah, we'll definitely look at, I think the next sprint, obviously we will look at those items and just keep them in mind, keep them noted down, and then we can just, I know a lot of them are already on the roadmap, but if they are coming up, it always helps us to know what is most urgent so we can focus on. I think that's just the biggest thing that really helps us along. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely make sure it's on the roadmap, and feel free to give us a bit of a heads up of which ones are going to become more critical. Yeah.
Rox, I did add, you probably would have seen, that question that you submitted, I did add to the roadmap regarding the SEO data import. So I've added that as well for pages.
That looked interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a comment on that one last night. So that was you, Rox, was it?
Yeah, so we have, often we're migrating, existing sites, sometimes redesigning them and all that sort of stuff, but we want to maintain the SEO performance that was happening before. So, being able to move across all of that sort of data into the old site, into the new one.
Yeah, the other thing I thought might be, because I mentioned actually just pulling all of the fields as a spreadsheet, rather than just the SEO data, which I'm sure that's the kind of natural approach for Siteglide with these things anyway.
Yep.
But the other thing I was thinking is, if we could look at something API related for those fields, then we've got the potential, we're not there yet, but in the future, kind of AI for SEO and other elements will become more of a thing. Just give us that ability to interconnect into those fields. So kind of, I don't think it's our kind of top priority at the moment, but just a thought if we're looking at things like that.
That's a really good idea. I think that because the pages is probably the only front end full component that doesn't have an API to it.
I literally said exactly that, Rox, the other day, and I felt that's something I'd really like to focus on, just to make sure we can say, look, you can access everything and do whatever you want with it. I think that kind of you sort of led on to my point really about the putting it into the UI for importing URLs. Personally, I would rather make things, as we always do, make things possible first. So currently, your request, I believe, is possible via CLI. You can import those. And the thing is, it is a one-off developer task generally for bulk import. I would probably say that's where we would like to keep it, with the reason being that we'd like to focus our attention on empowering you more and doing the AI kind of, the API approach if possible. Obviously, we need UI tools. There's no doubt about it. We want the UI tools there. The question is, do we focus our time on that doesn't necessarily give you more flexibility, or do we focus our time on the API?
Well, focus your time on writing some help on how to do it via the CLI.
Good point.
Good shout. I'm sitting here thinking, how do I use CLI? Spreadsheet from CLI. That back in CLI. I have no idea.
If I can do it via CLI, then I'll do it via that. I mean, it is a developer activity
I think that is what was said internally yesterday. Actually, I think I said, okay, it can be done by CLI, but what's stopping anybody? And it is docs. So yes, so if you guys are happy with that, I think we'll do that first.
Yeah, if we can pull that out as a spreadsheet, because yes, it can be a developer kind of activity, but actually in our organisation, there are definitely times where we've got a website and somebody said, right, we now need, phase 2, 6 months after the website went live, kind of let's now get it, let's put the marketing in, and our team just go through kind of page by page on that case. So it would be useful. I mean, if there's a way of getting that they can amend a spreadsheet and send it to one of the devs, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, we definitely need something that they can handle separately to it being a dev task.
So if we do the doc to help you guys do it manually as a dev task, and then if we focus on the API side of things, so that you could even use Google Sheets, or you could do it however you want. With that,
because if it's in Google Sheets, we can then connect that up to any AI that we need to do, which that everything. If as and when we get to that stage, we're not there yet, but it will come pretty quickly.
Cool. I hope it never comes across that we don't want to do something. Of course, we want to do the UI route, but I'd rather just give you more flexibility, to be honest.
And Nick, we're all realists. We recognise that if we're doing one thing, you're not doing another thing. So
cool.
Nick, I know you mentioned obviously the SEO through obviously. What you said through AI. Have you seen some interesting things that people have been doing with AI around SEO, or is that just something that's piqued your interest? Or
I mean, there is not in terms of kind of recognizing the possibility of using AI in that sense, rather than seeing and actually using it, but in terms of writing meta descriptions, that's actually pretty straightforward in terms of an AI task, and it's something that, you're probably looking at, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes per description to think about it and write it. And if we can just fire off, here are 300 URLs, and could you write meta descriptions? Here's the tone of voice. Here's the outcome we're looking to achieve. And, those 300 are done in a matter of minutes. So it will be powered, quite heavily, I should think, by AI. Moving forward. So
there's a lot of talk about it at Brighton SEO in September about AI using that for say generation descriptions and ads and marketing in general, and
Yeah, it's just incredible how quickly once you, as you said, once you set it up and just process it, it's incredible. Yeah, it's so valuable. Hey?
Yeah, we're already using it quite heavily for generalized content, and we are, I'm pretty sure the guys are already using it to generate meta descriptions. We've got the softwares that are kind of pre-built to allow us to do that. We just don't have that automation of connection. So if we are doing it, it's still a manual, then cut and paste in. So
that's really
AI would be brilliant.
That's really interesting and a great use case. We have to be a bit careful with AI. It's tricky because there's so many new shiny things that you can do out there, and some of them either aren't that valuable or it's hard to turn it into something valuable. Whereas that one is so obvious. I mean, content is probably one of the best uses at the moment.
I think from your point of, from Siteglide's point of view, it's a case of just allowing us to connect it. Exactly. The rest is, you're quite right. The software we used a year ago and the software we're using now are two different things, and it will change again probably in the next 6 months into what we're using. So it's just having that kind of ability to choose what we want to use and then connect it. And Google Sheets is definitely our friend in that sense. So
fantastic. Yeah, that's really helpful.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing here, Luke.
I mean, just before I show stuff, does anybody want to jump in with any roadmap stuff while we're on the topic, or any things that people need desperately?
The other thing is and I noticed it is in the roadmap, is the image preparation. You know how about downsizing and stuff that you have to do manually or whatever. That would be really good.
Go on. Sorry, John.
Oh no, I was just going to say I saw something in Power and Platform OS that there's a way of doing it via their CLI.
Or
I think so. Yeah,
they've done integration with UPI. We've done that a few times as well. It's been done a few times, and it needs sort of finalizing into a best practice solution, I guess. Cloudinary is the route that I know we tend to go on the project side of things, but it's obviously still an external service. So I'd have to check the exact roadmap task on that. But I know Josh, I'm pretty sure Josh is on the call. I know that
one there, and there was a suggestion of some third-party software, but it's got lots
we use Cloudinary as well.
I think that was a Siteglide recommendation, and it works well for us. It's a task of work. We kind of build the site and then retrofit Cloudinary across it, but it seems to do the job. So
I don't think we've found anything better than Cloudinary yet, but I think there are more ways you can integrate it or something to make this process a bit more seamless. I don't know if you're available to speak, Josh, but I think we've got something fairly close in terms of a file upload and optimization tool.
Yeah, so they have a JavaScript API, which allows you to very easily launch their upload widget. And with that, you can set loads of parameters as to how you want that image to be. You can set a maximum resolution, file size. You can have a cropping tool and stuff like that, so that your data is already pre-formatted going in, essentially. So you're not having to do those optimizations after the files are uploaded, and so your server space is optimized always. Obviously, that requires you to use their JS API, but it's fairly straightforward once you get used to it. You basically install their JS snippet script tag, and then you just use a JSON configuration file when you're opening the widget, essentially, and that's it. It's really nice and simple, and as John said, you can retrofit it in really easily to any site, basically.
Sorry, was that Cloudinary you were talking about, or something else?
Yeah, Cloudinary.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
I believe, I don't know if you're aware, Josh, but I believe Matt Jones has done quite a bit with that recently on a project and wanted to turn it into a module pretty soon. Does that ring any bells?
I haven't spoken to him about it yet, but
okay.
Andy.
I'll keep you guys posted if we do have anything in the pipeline for that. But otherwise, just implementing it yourself for projects is relatively straightforward. Sorry, Liz, I don't know if that fully answers the question. What I'm going to do is discuss with various people and round that up so that we can actually update the roadmap as well to kind of say, here's what's available now and here's what would be on top.
Yeah, it's just one of those headaches, particularly for clients doing bulk image uploading and, you know, changing things. And I've got one client who does conferences all the time, so she uploads the galleries. Yeah, it'd be perfect to. I find that she's got very large images there.
Things like galleries, once if it's a web app or e-commerce, you can configure Cloudinary to just run. Obviously pages, you have to make sure you've got you have to kind of retrofit the Cloudinary URL into place. But just to give you an idea, I think we pay $50 a month for Cloudinary, and that covers all of our, well, not everybody's on there, but we've got, you know, a good few dozen sites using it now, and we're not hitting anywhere near their capacity. So it's not a massively expensive additional thing to have, and it does do the job well. So
I think the free plan works pretty well for a while. If you do that for each individual customer, or then get your own, as you say.
Yeah, we just get our own because it's just easier to manage in there. But
Good. Okay. I'll jump in with some of the marketplace stuff then. That might prompt some questions anyway. And obviously at the end, if anybody still thinks of something, let us know. All right, I'll pull up my screen. Here we go. Yeah, so for those of you that are already using Flowbyte extensively and Tailwind, I'm pretty sure everyone who is sort of loving Tailwind, and that's still, to be honest, our preferred route. We think it's the best for performance and flexibility and a lot of reasons. But then obviously there's still a lot of people who either know Bootstrap 5 or really still want to use Bootstrap. I think also maybe Bootstrap is better for, I think better is probably not quite the right word, but more suitable when you want to start from templates and just keep things very very quick and easy to just take a design and stick with it. Whereas Tailwind, we're finding you can kind of do anything with, and Flowbyte's a great starting point. So yeah, two fairly different use cases. I would say the more technical users who have got into Flowbyte and Tailwind can probably find you can get better results for SEO. I think that's even wrong to say, because you probably can get just as good results with Bootstrap, but you probably maybe have to then do some work on top. So different use cases, different types of users, I think. But what we've done is we've partnered. So we have a partnership with Flowbyte that you guys are already using. And then we've just partnered with a company called Loople. It's a bit confusing, this relationship, but there's a company called Creative Tim, if you're not already aware, who build a whole load of design systems and templates. And one of theirs is called SoftUI, and that's a Bootstrap 5 design system. Now, we found it very, very hard to find a Bootstrap equivalent of Flowbyte and Tailwind, because most templates, like Theme Forest ones, are always very like individual templates. The licensing is a nightmare, and you always end up taking some bits from one and some bits from another, and before you know it, you might as well have sort of started from scratch. So design systems kind of help solve that problem by making everything modular, and we've finally found and built a partnership with somebody that offers one that's really good on the Bootstrap side of things. So yeah, it's very, very similar to the Flowbyte approach. There's a Figma file for the design side, and then there's the corresponding design system and component library for Bootstrap 5. And then on top of that, there's pro layouts should you want to upgrade, which I think once you get invested in a design system, it's almost certainly worth upgrading to pro, because you've just got so many more things off the shelf to be able to use. So what we've done in Siteglide is I've actually just created a site at the beginning of this meeting that we'll go and look at shortly. But if you go to themes under marketplace, I should have done this in a different account, but there will be a new theme called SoftUI. Let me just get rid of the thing for now. But there's a SoftUI theme that you can install So with themes, you can install them onto any site. You can start from a blank site or start from an existing site. And then with templates, they are complete sites that get built for you, site copy effectively. So with this one, it's going to ask you, let me just refresh the page. It's going to ask you the name of the site, and you're going to create one from scratch. And then if it was the theme, you can just install it onto an existing site. So if we just click that again here, it's going to ask you what you want the site to be called, and it's going to create a site for you from this template. So what we've done is installed the theme itself, the SoftUI theme, and then we're able to build templates off the back of that. So the first one that we've done, just as a sort of quick getting started landing page template for the layouts that we put in there, is this landing page one. So if we just demo that quickly, it's a pretty basic just landing page template. As with the Flowbyte one, we've got all of the dynamic form functionality from Site Builder. So if you added a new field, it will automatically update, that kind of stuff. All the same functionality, and all of this is built into Site Builder if you're using that. Yeah, so probably worth testing out that landing page one. As I say, it's sort of basic on the sort of content and functionality side, but it's an example of how to get started with this new Bootstrap theme. Any questions so far? So taking that a little bit further, what we have on this side of things with the Loopple partnership is something that we don't really have on the Flowbyte side at the moment, at least. Is what these guys have done is they've put together lots of different kind of vertical templates, basically one-page static designs, running off the SoftUI theme. So if you go into the hospital one, for example, it's just a collection of modular sections from the SoftUI theme, but all put together in sort of a hospital or medical kind of theme. It's not hard to replicate that yourselves, really. The Flowbyte route or even the SoftUI route is just a nice starting place, and it might actually help with talking to customers and trying to get them to get a feel for what you'd want to start from. So yeah, there's a whole range of things. What we're doing is we're getting more and more of these components set up. So if I just go into one of these quickly and click the, why have they not put it on that one? Sorry, oh, sorry, 1 second, my mistake. If I go to SoftUI and come down, there's a components page. So this page here will show you all the different components that are part of the SoftUI design system. So a bit like, this is exactly like how Flowbyte works, where you've got all the different sections within categories. So if you really wanted an FAQ layout, there's only one of those. If you wanted cards, a whole range of card layouts. Again, these are somewhat generic, but also very specific to a certain use case. So that one's real estate. Then if you want to put some courses, categories, you could use that for events, all sorts of things really. And a whole library of those, 131, I think it said, yeah, 131. So we're working to get more and more of these into the theme and into Site Builder itself. And then obviously we would also launch some of the templates that we were just looking at as well. So you've got something off the shelf that you can start from, maybe the real estate one, for example. With something like the real estate one, we obviously are going to need to consider putting together a specific module or web app for that functionality. So in time, we'll try and release more fully functional starting points for you, like a real estate website. And obviously things like e-commerce, that's something, frustratingly, e-commerce hasn't been included in Flowbyte, and it has been hard to find anything that has e-commerce. This has sort of basic e-commerce at the moment. It just has kind of like product list view, but we're actually expanding that to offer out detail view, checkout, cart, that kind of stuff. When I say we, this is all on the Site Gurus side of things. The Site Gurus team are expanding the library and building out modules and templates and everything. Quick update for those that use Flowbyte. Their e-commerce layouts will be out before the holidays, is their wording. So there should be nice e-commerce layouts to use this year. On this side of things, we're taking some of our layouts from the old design system, studio design system. So some of these ones here, and we're getting these to work in the Bootstrap library for now. We could do the same for Flowbyte, but because this is Bootstrap, it would be rewriting it, and we're just going to let Flowbyte do that. They're the best people to handle that side of things. So we'll have something similar to this functionality within the Bootstrap library very, very soon. And then essentially this whole demo site will get replaced with the SoftUI library that we've sort of deprecated work on the old Studio template anyway. Did that a long time ago, and we want to leave it to the experts to do effectively. So going forwards, we'll have Flowbyte as our Tailwind partner, and the confusing thing, it'll be technically Loopple as our Bootstrap partner, because they offer the sort of complete templates and design. One other sort of bonus that these guys offer, they work very closely with Creative Tim, just to sort of avoid any confusion. You can kind of treat them as one, it seems. But one thing that these guys offer that's really useful, and part of the partnership, I guess, is their builder. So if we were to just go back to SoftUI, then I believe you can go try demo, and you can actually build out a site just using the various sections visually here. This might be useful for you if you're working with a client and you don't want to go down the Figma route. You don't want to like spend time designing it, but you want to show them something that's part of your project process. So if you had the pro version, you get access to all of these layouts, and you can kind of piece it all together. You could then come in here and do the content and the class, like the CSS changes as well, if you wanted to. Really depends on your workflow, really. It's yeah, totally up to you, but then you can export that code. Lastly, I've covered quite a bit. Lastly, that obviously doesn't connect as well with Siteglide as we'd like. We're talking to them about how we can perhaps do a better integration with this should people use it. I think we'll wait first to see what the uptake is of the builder side of things, or whether it's more just the templates and the theme. But the other way of looking at it is we're building all of the modular sections into Siteglide, into Site Builder, sorry. So you'd actually be able to build out your pages in Studio or the Site Builder page builder to piece together sites rather than needing to do it here. It's completely up to you. I think the most flexible, the most time-saving way will be to do it within Siteglide itself. Covered quite a bit there. I don't think there's anything else I was going to show. Any questions on the Bootstrap library or where we're going with like the templates and the partnership with Loopple?
No, it's all good.
Cool. Any sort of comment between? Do you think most of you will pick one route? Like if you've gone Tailwind, you'll stick Tailwind, or do you think there's a use case for both? Just curious.
I think from our point of view, I think we're down the Tailwind route, and that's the way we're going to work. And trying to confuse the issue. I mean, we still have sites that are built on Bootstrap from previous, but everything new now is on Tailwind, and that's the decision we made and the route we're going. Otherwise, it just gets confusing.
I think so.
Between sites as you try and work out what the hell's going on. So it's
I can't really see. Sorry.
No, go on.
No, go for it.
I was going to say most of ours are built on Bootstrap, but we were about to commit to going down the Tailwind's path, mainly because, being able to, I guess, configure those components and put them onto the page sort of thing rather than the Figma part of it, I guess. That was the bit that was of interest to us. We're sort of probably building more, I guess, systems, I suppose. So it's good for some of that sort of stuff.
I would personally still go the Flowbyte route, I think. We're essentially going to have a very similar offering on both sides, and we want it that way so that people can pick what suits their developers, their processes, their projects, all of that kind of stuff. But there should be no specific reason why one is better than the other from like the offering side of things. It's just down to what suits you best. I do think you'll be able to get better or more flexibility over better results and optimization and stuff with Flowbyte. So I guess the difference at the moment would be the design side. Like Flowbyte looks the same way throughout, and if you like, you can make some really nice looking sites with that without even changing the design, but you would then, if you want to change it, you would have to do that on top. Whereas I guess in theory there's a little bit more customization within the Bootstrap route, but there's not a lot in it. I would say if you're more technical, the Flowbyte route is going to be slightly better, I would say.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess I've been upskilling my graphic designers in Bootstrap. But yeah. Well, and I've purchased Flowbytes already.
Flowbyte Pro. Yeah. No, we're definitely not moving away from it. It's our preferred route and a good way to go. Just to clarify on websites versus applications, both have both. So Flowbyte's very good on the admin dashboard side of things, and both Creative Tim and Loople have that as well. If we just go back a bit, sorry, back to the beginning. So they have SoftUI design system and SoftUI dashboard as well, so you can build out. Let's just quickly try the demo of that one. So various different sections, like the various different things that you can do out of the box with their one. So maybe worth reviewing both, but as John said, I think generally you're probably going to want to pick a route and stick with it rather than trying to learn two completely different frameworks.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, this was the sidebars and everything. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, just wanted to let everybody know about that. Yeah, there's definitely two different types of user, and we want to be able to support both. It's not like we're moving from one to the other. We're going to run both alongside, and we've got great partners for each. Good. I think that was pretty much everything from me. I mean, obviously, to reiterate that we can help on either if anybody needs any extra support. So we launched the new the new Site Gurus site recently, which explains a little bit more about the services there. Updates in terms of the portal for creating tasks and managing tasks, and specific like pricing and offerings for agencies within here. So there's one thing maybe worth mentioning that we're about to sort of launch, and it'd be great to get some feedback on at some point, would be the kind of project Kickstarter package. It's not relevant to you guys when you build out, like if you're always building out sites, you know Siteglide well, this is probably more of an entry point, but just helping people get set up with a site. This is aimed obviously only at agencies, just helping people get set up with a site. So especially if maybe you're new to Flowbyte or something like that, and just wanted a sort of kickstart. Yeah, I think that's probably everything from my side. Any questions? So I'm just going to quickly have a look at the roadmap again. On the roadmap page, it's showing nothing in progress at the moment. That's literally because Matt finished product copy yesterday. So you should hopefully be able to play around with that and give us any feedback via Discord maybe. And you'll soon see that we'll update that with what we're working on next. Oh, one thing I did want to mention, in the last town hall, we had a really productive chat about Menu Builder. and came up with a sort of interim solution to try and get that out without stopping everything else. Unfortunately, the theory was really good there, but the practice is not quite the same. So from Matt's perspective, there would be too much rebuilding required to do small improvements, that it's far better just to do it properly. So we're still mapping that one out, and obviously we'll discuss with you guys in terms of whether we can split it up into phases, like a simpler offering for phase for the V2 version, and then expand it later, and also where that fits in on the timeline. So not forgotten about it, just wanted to get some clear things on the roadmap that we know you want and that we know that we can do immediately while we plan out that kind of stuff in the background.
Yeah, cool.
Good.
Is there any other questions or general stuff just that you want to discuss on the open floor? Any specific frustrations or anything that's happening you have any questions about?
I had a couple of thoughts.
Go for it.
As usual.
No rocks.
When with the edit form, so you've got an edit form and you editing a record that's been created by a user, and would it be possible to do it via a secure area type of thing, where these people have access to a secure area and then they can edit any records that relate to that, rather than having to be the creator of the record?
I'm pretty sure we've had that for quite a long time. So that
we may well have done something along those lines. And I'm just trying to think of the use case of where it was. It was one of two sites that we've done. And
so if a record doesn't have an allocated user, anyone can edit it, is that right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Just trying to check.
All
there
right,
has
so
been something I've discussed about this recently.
If that's true, then yeah, I could see how you'd be able to do it via that. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, if that's possible, then that would be good.
I think I'm pretty sure we've done something similar where you have different levels of access. So admin, operator, etc., and then different things sit in different secure zones, and then map to the user that we created.
And was that allowing?
Unfortunately, the developer who built it is on holiday today, so I can't ask him. But,
and was that on editing a record, or was that just adding records?
No, I think that was, yeah, because they had to be able to edit the progress of it's a learning platform, so to be able to edit.
Yeah. Okay.
What was submitted to say that yes, they submitted it and everything was done at a certain point.
Yeah. Okay.
So effectively, we built another user role, did we, John?
Yeah, essentially, because they were front end user roles as opposed to
back end
user roles. So it's the front end user, or our client's client, who then they don't want them coming into the back of the Siteglide to do stuff. They want to do everything on the page, and have ability to look after their own company and their own company's users from the front.
Yeah, that's sort of the same use case I've got. So okay, well, if that's possible, then that's great.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'll
have to ask Jay when he's back.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what that is, because we could certainly use that. And the other thing is anyone else having problems where if in the interface, if they're in the code, what's it called, in the the code editor part of the interface, if two people go, if a file is left open and then someone else edits it, and then the first person who left it open then closes it, then the content of what it originally was overwrites what was edited by someone else. Anyone else seen that?
Yes, but only if you hit the save button. If they come in and you've still got the little white dot at the top, and you go back into the site and it's still got the white dot, you think, oh, I haven't saved it. Control S, then that will obviously overwrite everything that was done by somebody else. But I haven't had it just by closing it.
Okay, there seems to be something there that's not quite. That's what I would have thought. It's not quite that's happening sometimes when we have multiple people in the editor area. So.
And do you also have people in CLI at the same time?
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I mean, my team mostly doesn't use CLI, but I do, and so I'm forever pulling and syncing to make sure that I've got.
Yeah, I've had that before where the guys have pulled something and updated it with CLI, and I happen to have changed something, and they've not, because they didn't realise I was doing something quickly, and they pulled it and uploaded it. It's wiped out what I did, which is annoying. But there we go.
Yeah, so mine's more like like my designers who aren't really in CLI. They're just, doing CSS and classes, adding classes to elements sort of thing. So, but
the good news is that everything's run through GitHub. So it is version control basically, and unfortunately there are scenarios with most things if you have two people working on the same thing at the same time. As long as it was saved, then there will be a history of the one that then gets overwritten. But that's in our GitHub generally. I think there's an ability for you guys to sort of use your own as well. So that might be, so that would be your way of retrieving that data. I don't think there's many ways around this, to be honest, other than full version control that checks before saving. But in the meantime, GitHub would be the
locking or something like that.
Sorry?
The only other bit would be just locking. So, if it's in the browser.
It checks, yeah.
And,
it checks when the latest copy was.
That file's been edited since you last downloaded or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
If somebody's saved what they've done, it's there in the history, even if it then gets overwritten. Obviously,
for pages,
open and then save it.
Pages, but in code editor you can't see a history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no history in the code editor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry.
But it is in GitHub, which is obviously it's good to know that it's not lost, but it's not as easy to retrieve as with pages. Yeah.
Well, and I think there's still a problem when you copy templates.
What problem is that? Do you know?
So I think that it puts in the whatever the bit is at the front of the file that you can't see in the code editor, but you can in the CLI. Yeah, the YAML there is. I think it has the wrong number in there. So say I've got a template called 25, and I copy it. It copies it over, and it says 25 in the new template, as well as the old one.
Yeah.
And then when you're trying to do things with the templates, it can get a bit out of control.
I've definitely seen issues with either the same ID showing, and I've always been told whenever I found those issues that it's an issue in CLI, somebody's user error effectively in CLI putting the wrong number in, but I don't know. No.
No, this is in the site manager. So if you've got a template and you copy a template, it always copies the ID across, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Thanks. That's helpful because I've never been able to find an issue that is definitely system driven.
Yeah, I'll try and do one now.
I think the issue I'm describing is when someone builds or creates them from CLI, it's quite easy to not put the right ID in or something. But yeah.
All right. So I've created a template. They've got the same name, but I think when I go to delete one of them, if I go to delete one of them, it then deletes both of them because deleting it on the ID of it or something like that is something weird happens.
If there are two with the same ID, then that, there's going to be a problem.
In the interface, it doesn't show. It shows a different ID, but I think when I looked at them in CLI, they had the same ID up in the YAML code or something like that. So
let's I'll put a message maybe in your team chat in Discord, and we can try and test that one because I'd love to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I mean, it happened ages ago last time I did it, but yeah.
I'm just trying a copy as well. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll try and get to the bottom of that one.
Yeah, I've made some notes, Rox, and then we'll chat to you about it. Okay.
And was it possible? Did you have a look at all with adding custom fields into the company information?
It's something we can definitely do. Sorry, was that one of the questions?
I think we talked about it in one of the previous town halls. So
let me check where we got to with that one. Yeah, we'll let me check quickly if we have anything on that. Yes. Yeah, we've not moved forwards with that one just yet, but I'm pretty sure it's in our top list to go through. Just obviously we've picked ones that
yeah, lots of votes.
Yeah. Sure.
That's fine.
No, good to raise it, and we'll have another look at it and see if we can bump that one up.
Yeah, I think we've got an outstanding thing to do with companies as well. I'm just trying to wrap my memory about what it was. It's something to do with front-end creation of a company. You can do front-end creation of a user. The front-end creation of a company, I think, was a bit more tricky because you get someone who wants to sign up for a subscription service, and you have to specify the company name so we can then assign certain things to that company and the users within that company. But I think from the form at the front end, if you put the company name in, it won't create a company. It's just a field in the form.
I can see that in our top list. Yeah, we've definitely got that one. It's in the next phase essentially at the moment. So yeah, we're on it.
Cool, thank you. Right.
Actually, what would be really good in the company information would be like location details. So
it's a weird feature, to be honest, because it's basically just a web app that so we should let you extend like any other module, and it's something that you guys can fully control, really. Essentially you could run your own web app that does the same thing, but yeah, it's crazy not to let you expand a core feature. Yeah, we'll see if we can get that one bumped up a little bit.
Thank you.
Just seeing if there's anything else.
When you were talking about was it importing the data? Is that using a mutation? Is it with the GraphQL? When you're talking about
thought so.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, a bit more documentation.
Not my strong point.
That would be good.
Yeah,
a bit more mutation documentation would be good. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. You've got some notes on that, Colin, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards and make sure we get that. I mean, that's such a, yeah, I'd love to provide more stuff like that. Again, we'll try and do a little bit more on the Site Gurus side of things with that. Like, we want, those guys are in the thick of it every day. They're building projects and working on things. If they can provide additional docs or help or guides, then we will. But obviously some of this is just core Siteglide functionality. And the reason I mention that is some of it is not Siteglide functionality, really. There's plenty of things that, like helpful guides just on GraphQL and Platform OS related things, that anybody in the community, it'd be fantastic to get contributions to that, I guess. But yeah, we'll definitely do the ones that help use the system better.
Yeah, I've had some crazy code that was using just data collections and all that sort of stuff to get one value and all those sorts of things. And yeah, changing one of them to GraphQL now. So
great. Yeah.
Now I've got my head around it. And looking back at the old code I've got, yeah, that's just how do I work that out?
do you use GraphIQL as well?
No.
Again, I can't remember. We've thought about it in the past, but that's a really helpful visual tool for writing your queries and seeing the results.
Josh, the browser. thing. Oh yeah,
Yes.
no, I use that. We start that with a CLI.
Yeah, great. Cool.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a mind, whatever you want to call the word, as well. Get your head around when you're trying to do multiple.
Field, well done. Minefield.
Minefield.
That's exactly where my brain was going on it.
Trying to work out how to, query or bring back multiple fields and all that sort of stuff in the UI there. But yeah, once you understand the code bit of it, it's been a good way to test things and stuff. So
yeah,
and maybe I've got a little boilerplate code that I just reuse all the time.
That's why.
Yep.
If people are up for it, so I think we'd still like to do more kind of workshop sessions where people can just play around with GraphQL or ask questions and do things. It might be something we can try and test out and see how it goes. Cool.
Yeah. Just before we close off, is there any last questions? No.
All good.
Great. Everyone, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day and your evening, Rox and Liz. And we'll chat at the next one.
Fantastic. See you later.
Good luck to everyone whose teams are still playing in competitions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're playing, but we're not playing. We're there. I think we're playing.
I found it so interesting at the game. I think a lot of the French was supporting the English. I know
that's weird.
No,
that just doesn't sit right. That's just wrong.
It was very interesting. I was like, okay, that's
so wrong.
Great, thanks everyone. Enjoy us today.
We're a closer threat to them. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.